task force. Their mandate was, everyone has pain. What do you do about it? And we all know that. If you've ever been to the hospital, one of the things they always ask you, is the pain still there? And give us a level. 1 to 10, tell us what the pain is like. The show we put on that evening, I Haven't Got Time for the Pain, and from that show comes this skit, Who's Got the Pain? Take off on old-time TV shows with a few modern things thrown in.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Who's Got the Pain? We have 3 contestants here who will tell you about their pain. Are they telling the truth or aren't they? It will be up to you, our studio audience, to decide who's got the pain. So here we go. Each contestant will tell you about his or her pain, and you, our audience, will have to decide if what they are saying is true. Are you ready?
Yes!
But first, let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Hi, everyone. I'm here today to tell you about a new product that keeps me looking young and beautiful. It's called Passion Cream. Apply it to your face 6 times a day. In a mere 8 months, you will see those pesky wrinkles fade away. And the amazing thing about Passion Cream is it works on arthritis. Apply a dab to where it hurts and say goodbye to pain and hello to looking younger. Feel better and look younger with Passion Cream. Side effects could include skin rash, nosebleeds, constipation, burning, or whoopie pie.
Audience, are you ready? Yes! Good. Let's hear from our first contestant.
I have something called RSD in my right leg. And the symptoms are just terrible. This is one of the symptoms. The pain is unbearable when I'm wearing any clothing on. Bed sheets lying on my leg causes excruciating pain. And forget about putting a shoe on. Washing my leg is unbelievably painful. The water hurts, hot or cold. No one believes me. You do. People don't know what it is, so they think I'm faking it.
Let's hear it for contestant number 1. Is she telling the truth? Is her pain real? Audience, it's up to you to decide. Who's got the pain? And now a word from our sponsor.
How would you like to get rid of that pain that torments you? Feel like 16 again and dance the night away. All you have to do is take vitamin X 6 times a day. You will be running up 3 flights of stairs, going on 20-mile hikes, and swimming 20 laps a day before you know it. Vitamin X is new and guaranteed to work. If you do not see results after 10 years, we will apologize. Side effects could include inability to sit for more than 3 minutes, sneezing uncontrollably, and making noises like a terrified elephant.
All right. Audience, are you ready for contestant number 2?
Yeah.
You know, I used to play golf all the time, walk 18 holes, then come home and run 2 miles. I felt wonderful. And then slowly and gradually, the arthritis kicked in. At first, it was just some twinges in my knee. Then stiffness. It would take me a while to get out of the chair, but I usually could work it out when I walked around. And as time has gone, the pain gets worse. It takes me forever to get up and down the stairs. Walking is pure agony. At least I don't cry, though. These feel like bone rubbing on bone, and I'm afraid I will need a cane. And if I do, I'll have to make sure it goes with my outfit.
Let's have a hand for contestant number 2. So, audience, what do you think? Is his pain real, or is he trying to fool you? You must decide who's got the pain. But first, a word from our sponsor.
Arthritis is a disabling disease, and it seems to be the price we pay for getting older. If you have it, and who among our vast audience does not, we have good news for you. I'm sure you found out that all of the salves and ointments don't work, and that there is where Arthritis Beware comes in. Arthritis Beware is a one-day-a-day pill that you should be taking with a cheese sandwich. A cheese sandwich, you ask? A cheese unleashes the strange and wonderful powers of Arthritis Beware. Arthritis Beware is available in your local supermarket's dairy section. Side effects could include liver failure, diabetes, stroke, and a strange desire to be put into a jar and shaken onto spaghetti.
Well, back to our game. I know you all think you can identify the contestant or contestants with the real pain. But can you really? Let's see what contestant number 3 has to say.
I have been having pain in my upper back, and my left shoulder is lower than the right. I have had 2 major surgeries on my left side. The doctor sent me for physical therapy, and I was told that I had been holding my left arm against my body to protect that area. Over the years, my misaligned shoulders have caused an area of pain in my back that is impossible to reach and soothe. I've been told a salve rubbed on that area will calm things down, but I live alone and don't have anyone to apply the salve. I have a hard time using the shoulder, and forget about sleeping on any side, plus I'm really lonesome.
Thank you, contestant number 3. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 3 stories of pain. Who is telling the truth? Whose pain is real? Who's got the pain? Before we ask you to cast your votes, let's have another word from another sponsor.
There are all kinds of arthritis creams on your pharmacy shelf, but none compare to the healing power of Pain Away. But wait, Pain Away also makes your skin tingle and feel clean and fresh. So if you've had a busy day and now you're ready for a good night's sleep, apply a healthy dose of Pain Away to those pesky joints to control the pain. And then on your face and body so you can tingle all over. hokey pokey, the loss of your nose, and dreams of Elvis Presley snoring.
Audience, are you ready? I want you to applaud for the contestant who you think has real pain. All right, contestants, time for the truth. Well, the moral of the story is that all pain is real. So whatever pain you feel is real and has to be dealt with. Let's hear it for our panelists and contestants. Thank you. Don't forget to tune in next week for Who's Got the Pain?
In 2007, we wrote a mystery called Where There's a Will. And in 2008, a practice fairy tale show called Once Upon a Time, in which we had Hansel and Gretel wandering through the forest looking for a gingerbread house and stumbling across fairy tales that were all messed up and or fairy tale people who were kind of randomly walking the same path. They met Rumpelstiltskin, who was spinning on a spinning wheel. The spinning wheel broke down, so he had to call tech support on his cell phone. He stumbled across Sleeping Beauty, who was asleep, obviously. But while she was in her castle, one of the peasants went to Curses Are Us to see how they could break the curse. And we also had a department store run by Snow White, where all the elves ran, well, the dwarfs ran departments in the store. While Hansel and Gretel were wandering through the forest in the first half, Hansel kept getting hungrier and hungrier and hungrier, until finally, when it was time for intermission, he decided he would leave the stage and go up to the lobby to get there ahead of the people in the audience so he could get something to eat. When we opened the second half, Hansel and Gretel are wandering and reminiscing about what he had done. And they bump into a different kind of a character this time.
Oh, you know, Gretel, that snack at intermission helped, but it didn't do enough to satisfy my appetite.
Oh, Hansel, quit your complaining. You knew before the show started that you wouldn't get anything to eat until the final scene. Then you pulled that stunt at an intermission, and even that didn't help. Live with it.
Oh, I thought I might get a little sympathy, but no. Torment your brother all the time.
It's my job. And it won't get any better because I'm starved too.
Now look who's doing the complaining.
Gretel, it looks as though we have
Wonder who this one will be. Hello.
Hello is a standard, polite form of greeting. Something you say when first you're meeting. My goal to arrive without further delay.
Oh, you speak in rhymes.
Very clever, my lovely lady. Nice we could meet in a place so shady.
My goodness, do you always speak in rhyming patterns?
I'm afraid it's something of a curse. Then again, I suppose it could be worse.
Oh, Hansel, she does seem to fit in with all those other odd people we've been meeting on this journey.
Yes, she certainly does. Tell me, friend, have you spotted a gingerbread house on your travels?
I wish I could say I've seen such a vision, if only to help you find some provisions.
Where are you headed, Miss Rhyming Person?
To the place where fairy tales rule the day. Did you happen to see it on your way?
Why would you want to go there? We're part of that fairy tale crowd. And I'll tell you right now, what you find won't be that special.
I'm not looking for average fairy tale folks. It's the audience I'm looking to coax.
Then you don't have to go very far for them to find. Look around. There they sit, all waiting, much maligned. Oh, she's got me to it.
Miss Rhyming Person, why are you here?
The gift of rhyme has been my blessing. To share it with others has me obsessing.
But share with who? Hansel and me?
To all people here I am confessing. It's nursery rhymes we'll be addressing.
Miss Rhyming Person, do you think they'll mind?
When all of these folks were but infants, they were taught their first poems by parents. The rhymes were quite easy, so silly and breezy. Now I seek to tap into their talents.
How would you do that?
I will say the first line of Rhyme Nursery. They will answer with rhymes never cursory. Here, we'll give one a try. We'll have faith that it'll fly, and likely get done long before someone in the audience figures out that the only rhyming word I can use now is anniversary. Hey, even I get stuck once in a while. Here goes. Hickory dickory dock, the mouse ran up the clock.
The clock
struck one, the mouse ran down. Hickory dickory dock.
Oh, that was fun. Do another.
These nursery rhymes sit at the tip of my tongue. They answer with gusto before a bell rung. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Baa black sheep, have you any wool? Yes sir, 3 bags full. One for my master, one for my dame, one for the little boy who lives down the lane. Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shells and 30 pigs all in a row. But I have one more rhyme for this digital age. Do it correctly, you'll be all the rage. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy had none. And this little piggy fried wee all the way home. Farewell, my friends. It's been a delight. But I must be gone before day turns to night.
Did you have fun?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try that. Did you have fun? Hansel, do I see a small cottage ahead in the wood?
Yes. Looks like the home of Red Riding Hood. I made another rhyme. Shall we go there to see if they know where the gingerbread house is?
It can't hurt. Follow me, but watch your step. There might be a wolf around here.
A cabbie picks up a nun. She gets in the cab and notices that the very handsome cab driver won't stop looking at her.
Pardon me, sir, but I must ask, why you're staring at me? You've certainly driven a nun before.
I have a question to ask, but I don't want to offend you.
My son, you cannot offend me. When you're as old as I am and have been a nun as long as I've been, you get a chance to see and hear about everything. I'm sure there's nothing you can say or ask that I would find offensive.
This sounds silly, but I've always had a fantasy to have a nun kiss me.
Well, let's see what we could do about that. First, you must be single, and second, you must be Catholic.
Yes, I'm single. And Catholic.
Okay, pull into the next alley.
The nun fulfills his fantasy with a kiss that would make a hooker blush. But when they get back on the road, the cab driver starts crying.
My dear child, why are you crying?
Forgive me, but I have sinned. I lied and I must confess. I'm married and I'm Jewish.
That's okay. My name is Kevin and I'm going to a Halloween party.
Sunday, and the priest almost fell down when he saw him. He'd never been to church in his life. After Mass, the priest caught up with him, and this conversation ensued.
Murphy, I'm so glad you decided to come to Mass. What made you come?
I've got to be honest with you, Father. A while back, I misplaced me hat, and I really, really love that hat.
Oh, that's nice, but what has that got to do with your being here today?
Well, I know that McGlynn had a hat just like mine, and I know he comes to church every Sunday.
Okay, but...
I'm getting to it, Father. Give me a chance.
Chance given. Proceed.
See, I knew that McGlynn had to take off his hat during Mass, and figured he'd leave it in the back of the church. So, I was going to leave after communion and steal McGlynn's hat.
Well, Murphy, I noticed you didn't steal McGlynn's hat. What changed your mind?
It was after I heard your sermon on the Ten Commandments. I decided that I didn't have to steal McGlynn's hat after all.
Oh, so after I talked about thou shalt not steal, you decided you would rather do without your hat than burn in hell?
No, Father. After you talked about thou shalt not commit adultery, I remembered where I left me hat.
An elderly retired couple were driving down the East Coast when they stopped in Georgia for fuel. The elderly woman was very hard of hearing and asked her husband to repeat everything.
Why are we stopping?
We need gas.
An elderly station attendant came to the car and started filling the fuel tank.
How do you like the weather?
Seems very nice, not too hot.
What did he say?
He asked if I liked the weather and I told him yes.
Where are you headed?
Jacksonville.
Where?
What did he say?
He didn't say yet. Where are you
What did he say?
He asked where we were going and I told him Jacksonville.
Where are you from?
Oh, we're from Maine.
I was in Maine for 2 years while I was in the Air Force. In fact, I dated a girl from Maine while I was there. It didn't last long though. I have to tell you, this girl was the worst in bed of any girl I knew.
What did he say?
He says he thinks he knows you.
As we near the end of the show, I hope we've been able to spend the evening having you understand and recognize what Senior Moments is all about and has been. The fun parts that we do demonstratively in nursing homes and things like that, and the behind-the-scenes things we do in making senior issues come alive for seniors so they can deal with them. As I think about that, I remember all the members of Senior Moments who have been sitting in these chairs behind me over the years. The one thing you have to understand is when you work with seniors, it's an amazing blessing. The other thing you have to understand is, unlike youth programs where kids graduate from high school and go off to college and life, when we lose members, we have lost them. And it's in that spirit that I want to talk about just at least one of those members that's been here in the past. There are so many. I have to talk about two, so I have to talk a little bit about my wife, Joanne. All these skits that you've heard tonight, the serious skits, were written by either she or me. That was our labor of love to be able to do that. But she went on and did some amazing things on her own. The outreach thing that we did was basically an idea that she had. She adopted 7 senior places in southern New Hampshire and went there once a month and sat with acting groups and they read skits like this. And then she would bring them all together in the springtime so they could perform for each other and their friends and families. And invariably, as with the kids at UNH, young people would come to us and say, my grandmother read a poem today, or that story that you told reminded me of my grandfather, things like that. And I think that's the thing that Senior Moments has been trying to do, is to let people of other generations understand what's in store for them as they get older. The other person I want to talk about is Barbara Randall. Barbara was the only professional actor we had in the group. When I say professional, she was a high school English teacher, but she was asked to perform because the Robesons knew her and they were going to put on Harold and Maude. And they asked Barbara if she would play Maude. That was her first acting. She was magnificent. She was wonderful on the stage. She taught us all what stage acting was all about just by demonstrating it for us. We have one thing that we closed our shows with that Barbara read all the time. It's called The Old Lady's Poem. And she did it so well. And it literally brought tears to people's eyes as she read it. When Barbara passed away 2 years ago now, we retired the poem saying no one could possibly do it like Barbara. But I felt for tonight it would be really important if we read that poem again. So we have 3 charter members of Senior Moments that are on the stage today that have been with us from the beginning. You met Kenny, he was one of our charter members. You've met Mary, she was one of our coaching members. She was one of our charter members. And we're going to ask Millie to come up and read this poem for you. Millie, she's going to come up. You'll meet her in a minute. When a little old lady died in a geriatric ward of a small hospital near Dundee, Scotland, it was felt that she had nothing left of any value. Later, when the nurses were going through her meager possessions, they found this poem. Its quality and content so impressed the staff that copies were made and distributed to every nurse in the hospital. The old lady's sole bequest to posterity has since appeared in countless medical magazines around the world as her simple but elegant poem, speaks to the nature of aging and the way others see what aging really is. I'd like this reading to be dedicated to those Senior Moments members who have passed on. Lily?
What do you see, nurses? What do you see? What are you thinking when you're looking at me? A crabby old woman, not very wise, uncertain of habit, with faraway eyes, who dribbles her food and makes no reply when you say in a loud voice, "I do wish you'd try," who seems not to notice the things that you do, and forever is losing a stocking or shoe, who, resisting or not, lets you do as you will, with bathing and feeding the long day to fill. Is that what you're thinking? Is that what you see? Then open your eyes, nurse. You're not looking at me. I'll tell you who I am, as I sit here so still, as I do at your bidding, as I eat at your will. I'm a small child of 10, with a father and mother, brothers and sisters who love one another. A young girl of 16, with wings on her feet, dreaming that soon now a lover she'll meet. A bride soon at 20, my heart gives a leap, remembering the vows that I promised to keep. At 25 now, I have young of my own, who need me to guide and a secure, happy home. A woman of 30, my young now grown fast, bound to each other with ties that should last. At 40, my young sons have grown and are gone, but my man's beside me to see I don't mourn. At 50, once more, babies play round my knee. Again we know children, my loved one and me. Dark days are upon me. My husband is dead. I look at the future. I shudder with dread. For my young are all rearing young of their own. And I think of the years and the love that I've known. I'm now an old woman, and nature is cruel. 'Tis jest to make old age look like a fool. The body it crumbles, grace and vigor depart. There is now a stone where I once had a heart. But inside this old carcass, a young girl still dwells, and now and again my battered heart swells. I remember the joys, I remember the pain, and I'm loving and living life over again. I think of the years, all too few, gone too fast, and accept the stark fact that nothing can last. So open your eyes, nurses, open and see. Not a crabby old woman. Look closer. See me.
Thank you, Nora. Now, we heard you sing earlier in the program. If we could have the house lights up, and if you could take your programs out and turn to the last page, we'd like you to join us in song as we finish up this show this evening. We all remember Julie Andrews and The Sound of Music. In one of the commemoration dinners they had for her later in life, Julie stood up and sang this song. We'd like you to sing it with us. You have the words there? You don't have to stand, we will. We'll do that for you. Ready? Here we go. May rocks and those rocks and me
of my